Horror Christmas Day. Snow fell softly on the small town of Elkwood, blanketing the streets in white. It was Christmas Eve, and the townsfolk were nestled in their homes, their windows glowing warmly against the frigid night. Children dreamed of presents, and families gathered around crackling fires, sharing laughter and holiday cheer. But this Christmas, something sinister stirred in the shadows. At the edge of town, the old Hargrove Manor loomed like a specter. It had been abandoned for years, ever since the Hargrove family mysteriously disappeared one Christmas night decades ago. Stories of strange noises, ghostly apparitions, and cold drafts had kept everyone away. But tonight, a group of friends dared to break that tradition. Jake, a thrill-seeker with a knack for trouble, had convinced his friends to explore the manor as a Christmas adventure. Alongside him were Emily, his skeptical girlfriend, Lucas, the group's quiet but brave member, and Sarah, who always hid her fear with nervous laughter. "Come on," Jake urged, holding a flashlight. "It's just an old house. What's the worst that could happen?" "The worst?" Emily shot back, her voice dripping with sarcasm. "How about we find out why people say this place is cursed?" Lucas remained silent, but Sarah hesitated. "I don't know, Jake. Can't we just, watch a movie or something?" Like normal people, Jake rolled his eyes. "Where's your Christmas spirit? Let's make some memories." The four trudged through the snow, their breath visible in the icy air. The iron gates to the manor creaked loudly as Jake pushed them open. The house loomed larger up close, its windows dark and foreboding. The door was slightly ajar, as though inviting them in. Inside, the air was bitterly cold. Dust coated every surface, and cobwebs hung like curtains. Their footsteps echoed ominously as they ventured further in. The living room was eerie, with an old, decayed Christmas tree still standing in the corner. A few tattered ornaments dangled from its brittle branches. "This is unsettling," Emily admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. Lucas pointed to the fireplace. "Look, there's ash. Someone's been here." Jake shrugged. "Maybe hobos or kids trying to scare each other. Let's check upstairs." The group climbed the creaking staircase, their nerves on edge. The upstairs hall was lined with closed doors, each one seeming to hold a secret. Jake tried the first door, revealing a bedroom frozen in time. A child's toys were scattered across the floor, and a small rocking horse sat eerily still in the corner. Sarah shivered. "This feels wrong. Like we're intruding." Lucas glanced at her. "You're not wrong." Jake, undeterred, moved to the next room. It was a study, the air thick with the smell of old books and decay. A massive desk sat in the center, papers strewn across it as if someone had left in a hurry. Emily picked one up, squinting in the dim light.
"It's a letter," she said, her voice trembling. "It's addressed to Santa, but it's not a wish list. It's a warning." Jake grabbed it and read aloud. "Dear Santa, please save us. He's coming. We can hear him. Please help." The group stared at each other, the weight of the words sinking in. The sound of faint bells jingling broke the silence, sending chills down their spines. "What was that?" Sarah whispered. The bells grew louder, accompanied by heavy, deliberate footsteps. They weren't coming from the hall or the stairs but seemed to echo from all around them. Panic set in as the air grew colder, their breath fogging up in the dim light. "Let's get out of here," Lucas said firmly, grabbing Sarah's arm. As they turned to leave, the door slammed shut with a deafening bang. The flashlight flickered, and the bell stopped. The silence was suffocating. A deep, guttural laugh echoed through the house, sending shivers down their spines. "Who's there?" Jake shouted, trying to sound brave but failing miserably. The laugh grew louder, closer, and the shadows in the room began to twist and writhe. A figure emerged from the darkness, a towering, grotesque being cloaked in black. Its face was obscured, but its glowing red eyes burned with malice. In one skeletal hand, it held a long, rusted chain that jingled as it moved. "Run!" Emily screamed, and they bolted from the room. The hall seemed endless, twisting and changing as if the house itself was alive. Doors that had been open were now locked, and the walls seemed to close in. The sound of the chains dragging behind them was relentless, the creature's guttural growls growing louder. Jake led the group down the stairs, tripping and tumbling to the bottom. He scrambled to his feet, yelling for the others to hurry. Lucas and Sarah were right behind him, but Emily lagged, glancing back at the creature. Its skeletal hand shot out, grabbing her arm with an icy grip. "Emily!" Lucas shouted, turning back to help. He grabbed her free arm and pulled with all his strength, but the creature's grip was unyielding. Emily screamed as the cold seeped into her skin, her breath visible in the freezing air. With a final desperate tug, Lucas yanked her free, and they all sprinted for the door. They burst outside, the bitter cold hitting them like a wall. The creature stopped at the threshold, its glowing eyes watching them with a chilling intensity. The bells jingled one last time before the door slammed shut. The four friends stood in the snow, gasping for breath, their hearts racing. They didn't speak as they stumbled back to town, the events of the night etched into their minds. Elkwood's Christmas light seemed almost mocking now. Their warm glow enabled to chase away the darkness they had encountered.
The next morning, the town woke to a chilling sight. The Hargrove Manor was gone, leaving behind only an empty, snow-covered field. Jake, Emily, Lucas, and Sarah never spoke of that night again, but every Christmas, they heard the faint sound of jingling bells in the distance, a haunting reminder of the cold Christmas night that would stay with them forever.